And good morning. Welcome in. WRGA News Time is 7:43. And let's welcome in Dr. Jessica Ter Haar, and a Ph.D. And you know everything about probiotics and biotics that are good for us. And so, first of all, welcome. And glad you could be with us this morning.
Thank you so much, Tony. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
We've got a lot of things we don't understand, and we get confused sometimes. But you being a nutrition expert and realize that while we've been trying to sterilize everything in the world due to the pandemic and COVID and all, maybe we haven't been doing the greatest job at really getting that bacteria in our system we really need. So let me ask you this: microbes, viruses, bacteria, they exactly what are the three of those? What do they mean, and what do they mean to our bodies?
That's a great question, Tony. Thanks so much. I know all these scientific terms can be daunting, and as a microbiologist, I'm really excited to hear them. But let me see if I can help display some of that confusion. So microbes, the three most popular ones kind of are bacteria, fungi, and viruses. And you can think of them this way. There's good ones and there's bad ones. Bacteria are single-cell organisms, but they're sort of loners, so they like to reproduce a lot. But a cool fact for you, Tony, less than 1% of bacteria cause disease. If you think about fungi, so these three most popular microbes, fungi are sort of like the recyclers of the microbial world. They take excess food and they make it into something else. Kind of cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't have things like bread or beer, wine, cheese without these good microbes. And obviously, we're learning a lot more about viruses nowadays, but I call them sort of the zombies of the microbial world because they're not really dead or alive. They need another cell to do what they have to do. But, as I said before, there's good and bad. There's also viruses that actually can kill antibiotic-resistant bacteria. So these are just examples of good ones and bad ones, but microbes are everywhere. They exist on the soil, in plants, in our food, on us, around us, in the air. They're supposed to be there. They have a job, and they make up a big part of our world.
I think I got a lot of my bacteria by eating dirt as a child, and that seemed to prepare me because I don't really remember getting sick a lot, other than a little tonsillitis here and there and some sinus problems. But we kind of like a germaphobe world in right now, and what do we do to get through that? Because some bacteria it's good for us. It helps antibodies and fights off infections and things like that. So how can we not be clean and safe but not overdo it?
Well, that's the thing. We are living in a sort of a germophobic environment, as you said, and it's a different world out there. Grandma's birthday's online. We're talking to the doctor on Zoom. If kids are not in school online, they're trading masks in the playground. So we're adapting to this new reality. Our bodies are adapting to it too. But one critical piece to our body's health is actually microbes. So microbes, they train our immune system. They help us digest things. They really help our mind-brain-gut connection. They work to keep us healthy. And because we're social distancing and wearing masks and, waiting for new solutions from the CDC, like vaccines and so on, we're not exposing ourselves to good microbes anymore. And that's a problem because it can set us up for long-term health problems down the line. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying we don't still follow and abide by what the CDC is saying and those much smarter people than us up in government, but this clean living to the extreme can set us up for problems down the line because we're not being exposed to good microbes because we're trying to avoid the coronavirus.
Well, then how can we stay hygienic and at the same time make sure our body's prepared for those foreign invaders and all that bad stuff that we don't want in there?
Well, let me give you 3 easy ways. So first one, open your windows. It may sound like a no-brainer, but get some oxygen in there. I don't know what it's like right now in Atlanta, but up in Toronto where I am, it's cold, it's crisp, we got snow, but let some oxygen in your environment and some new microbes. Remember, microbes are in the air too. Second thing, eat food, but eat a variety of food because there are microbes in and on our food. And I'm not just talking, your sauerkraut, your pickles, your beer, your cheese, and all of that, but even in fresh food. In an apple, like I don't know if you have an apple in your lunchbox, Tony, today, but there are about, a couple million microbes in that apple, the skin, the pulp, the seeds, everything. So eat a variety of foods because you'll get exposure to good microbes that your body is used to. And the last way, the third way, probably the most important because it's the easiest, the safest, and actually the most precise, is to try to think about taking a probiotic every day.
Mm-hmm.
That is, probiotics are safe, they're FDA regulated, a lot of people don't know that, and they're backed by a lot of science. There are over 1,600 clinical trials on probiotics alone. So think about taking a probiotic because that's a good guy that we know is a good guy.
Well, there's a lot of them out there on the market right now. What do we need to look for in this? Because we see the things about the antioxidant things, and we want to get the bad stuff out, and then we want to put the good stuff in, and so that can be very confusing because we want to get some bacteria. We want to cleanse our body at the same time. We don't want to cleanse it of what it needs to fight off infection. So what do we look for in a probiotic that is safe and going to be effective? Because I'm sure there's not a one-size-fits-all for everybody.
No, there isn't, and I think that's the same way with any sort of supplement that's out there that you're considering. So probiotics, they do a lot of things. The classical research says that they help with the gut and the immune system. There's a lot of science behind that, but they can help with a lot of different things. Before I go any further, obviously, you need to make sure that you speak with your doctor if you're going to integrate probiotics within your healthcare regime. But there's a lot of things they can do, and how to find a good one, I'd suggest just a really basic step. Take a look at the label. Does it say what's inside? And not just, the probiotic name or the names of the strains, or the species, but you need to understand that, I'll give you an example. If I'm looking for a Tony on the radio,
mm-hmm.
right? I'm going to look for Tony McIntosh in Atlanta with the correct radio station, right? Same thing with a probiotic. You need to look for a Lactobacillus acidophilus 123, for example. So you need that strain designation at the end so you know you're getting the right person, the right strain. Make sure they have, good information on the label. And I think our association has put out an infographic, actually, on how to read a probiotic label, because companies that are making good labels are making good products.
Well, do probiotics, does it interact with, say, existing medications you're taking out? Is it just totally it takes a separate highway? How does it interact with a lot of like blood pressure, cholesterol medicines, and things like that?
There's limited knowledge as to the interactions of probiotics with certain drugs, and that's why it's really important to talk to your doctor if you're going to integrate a probiotic within your healthcare regime. But to my knowledge, to date, there are very few interactions that have been noted. But I mean, they change the way you digest things towards a positive way, and also the fact that they will help promote regularity and things like that. So that may adjust slightly some of your medication, but we're not talking any adverse events or anything like that, to my knowledge in the literature. But always check with your doctor,
Well, the buzz phrase of the year, I think, is trust the science. What's the science behind this, that, or the other? And how can we learn about, the science behind probiotics?
That's a great question. Thanks again for that one, Tony. As the scientific director for the International Probiotics Association, what I do every day is I vet science. I go through it. I check the state of affairs. So if you like what I've said today, or you want to have more information, or even if you want to come into contact with me, check out our website. That's internationalprobiotics.org. You can sign up for our newsletter, follow us on social media, or just shoot me an email on the Contact Us page. We have a lot of information there on probiotics, and we're always trying to throw out tidbits and help people understand what they really are, because it's complicated. It's not easy to understand, but we know what's really important.
All right. Sounds good. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us. Jessica Ter Haar. And probiotics is something that, we've heard a lot about, but don't know. And I think this is a lot of great information, and hopefully folks will follow your web address and get in contact with you if they need some more information. But thanks for the info this morning. Very enlightening.
Thank you so much, Tony. It's been a pleasure. Have a great rest of the day.
All right. You too. All right. Bye-bye.